In this video I'm going to look at a candidate who's trying to move from a B to an A. He's writing about an inspector calls. I've marked his first attempt at an essay and I've given him this instruction that he has to refer to at least two stage directions in his essay. He's written about one and here he is trying to write about another. So here we go. Priestley uses stage directions to make certain parts of the play more dramatic for the audience. That's very good. The title of the question included the word dramatic and significant, and so he's using the keywords of the question. He highlights Mrs. Burling's snobbish nature by having her say, "Didn't I tell you?" triumphantly. And so this is where he's going to gain more marks. The stage direction is actually this, triumphantly, and that needs to be in quotation marks as well. This is the word that he's going to focus on and write about in order to gain the marks. This is part of Priestley's message that they each believe that they are always in the right. So what he's done is he's got distracted by the quotation, which is here. This is the quotation that supports the fact that they're always in the right, and he's forgotten about the stage direction. The stage direction shows how pleased she is in her superiority over everybody else. And that superiority is going to link to Priestley, because Priestley is trying to show that the Burlings and the ruling classes rejoice in their own superiority, looking down on anyone who is socially inferior as inferior beings, because that stops them taking responsibility for them. But this candidate has missed that point because he's forgotten to concentrate on the stage direction itself. So Priestley also uses this to show Burling's excitement towards the revelation that the inspector is a fake. This in turn shows Burling isn't taking responsibility for Eva's suicide. So this is quite a sophisticated argument. This argument here about the revelation leads the candidate to make a further point about Burling's thought processes, which is very good. However, he's not linking back to the stage direction, and I'll say why that's important later. He's not taking responsibility for Eva's suicide, since he believes that if the inspector isn't real, he doesn't have to listen to his message, sorry that's my spelling mistake here, of everyone being equal. Here, he has invented a quotation. The quotation that he needs is we are all of one body, and that would have given the idea that we are all equal, but he hasn't used that quotation. He simply paraphrased the message in it, and paraphrasing is never as good as the actual quotation, so it pays to learn a few. Right, the reason that it's always wise to write about stage directions is whatever question you get on an inspector calls, it's likely to include this word, dramatic, and the reason for that is quite obvious. In the inspector calls is a play, and so the examiners always want you to consider how the play works. You know, what is it about this play that engages the audience? And to do that, they use the word dramatic. And the playwright is always thinking dramatically, and they reveal how they think dramatically through their stage directions, because this is the way they tell the director they want the play to be performed. Consequently, you will always be able to write about the author's purpose and the drama by referring to the stage directions. It's a win-win, and that's why I've asked this candidate, as I ask all my students, to write about two stage directions, because they will always nail that aspect of the question. So now you know what to do. Whatever the question, focus on stage directions if you can, and you're bound to succeed.